You're watching Android FPS.
Hey guys, Android FPS here. Just making a video about sensitivity, about mice, about different grips. Got some tips, some facts, and a little bit maybe discussion. This is not an authoritative guide. I'm not a pro player. This is just some stuff that I've picked up over time. I thought might be able to help you guys, and also I want to get some of your feedback as to what you use and what you think about the matter. So, firstly, uh, there are a lot of people when they start to play this game, they want to know how they get better, what they can do. There's been a million Reddit threads, there's been lots of discussions, topics. But one of the things that I found personally that helped me the most and often helps newer players is sensitivity. Uh, People oftentimes simply just have their sensitivity too high. If you look at some of the sensitivity values that people usually start out with, it's pretty ridiculous. You want to have it so that your sensitivity is as low as you can, while at the same time you're able to turn around relatively quickly. So if your sensitivity is too high, what happens is small movements, tiny adjustments in your hand is going to throw it off, and your cursor is going to fly everywhere. Now, if you have to make tiny adjustments, which you in fact do in Counter-Strike, especially in long-range situations, you want to have that precision, that pixel precision that you get with low sensitivity. So I'd explore with it. I'm actually going to link you down to a video that really helped me find my perfect sensitivity. I use actually very low sensitivity compared to most people. I play at 800 DPI, which is 0.715. So yeah, that's my sensitivity. It's lower than most people, but it works for me. Also, there are, the pro sensitivity. They often post what their values are through the stream. Their DPI, field of view. One important thing to note, though, is that when you put direct input in the game, the sensitivity value is not affected by your Windows setting. So Windows cursor setting, as you may know, if you go to Windows, you select mouse pointer precision. There's different notches, and that will affect your sensitivity. But if you have direct input, it won't matter. So that's a good thing that normalizes it for everybody. Now, another thing I would recommend is if you play other first-person shooter games, then I recommend you keeping your sensitivity the same. Now, there's the language that the games use, that most games use, is going to be different. So with Quake, though, Quake and Counter-Strike, they share the same. So if your sensitivity is 1, then in Quake, it's going to be 1 in Counter-Strike, which is really convenient. It'd be nice if everybody did that. But they have their different algorithms or whatever to control that. So in a way to basically make it the same one-to-one for different games, you can go to, I'm going to link it below, it's mousesensitivity.com. And there you plug in all the data from one game with the 8 DPI and all that stuff, and then it'll tell you what to change the value to in the other game and how to do that. It's really helpful, and it's helped me out a lot. So for the pro mouse sensitivities, you can see that they actually do vary quite a bit, and that there are no standard rules really when it applies. So you could just take this with a grain of salt. This is not the right mouse sensitivity for you. It varies from person to person. For example, resistance sensitivity is really high. It's 4.2 at 800 DPI or 8.4 at 400 DPI. So that's pretty high. I know that the get right sensitivity is high as well. So that's just their exceptions. They have really high dexterity with their fingers and their grip, so they're able to control the mouse better, and it works for them. So you can't tell Get Right that he's doing it wrong, obviously. And on the other scale, you have Delpan, who uses low sensitivity. His is 1.1 at 400 DPI, and that's going to be 0.55 at 800 DPI. So that's, as you can see, that's very low. He's a professional player. And Forrest, his is really high. It's at 3.6 at 400 DPI. But if you take what I found the average of a lot of the pros, now this isn't the exact number, but I found that the average, generally speaking, for most pros is going to be at 400 DPI, 2.3, and at 800, that's 1.16. So it may be lower than you might be thinking, which is the case for a lot of people. Now, another thing that really does help new players, which, people sometimes come into my stream and they say, what's holding me back? I'm still a silver. Or I'm trying to get out of silver or Nova. And then I ask them first about the sensitivity. And then the second thing I ask is, what kind of mouse do you have?
Good job.
One of the biggest leaps that helped me in just FPS games in general was moving up from basic mouse and basic mouse pad. I didn't realize how important it was. You don't have to spend $300 on a mouse, but I would recommend spending at least $50. There's a lot of different companies. There's Rocat, which is what I use. Then there's, of course, Logitech. There's Razer. There's Steel Series. Those companies for the most part aren't going to sell you crap mice. Well, Logitech has a lot of crappy mice, but they have, professional gaming mice. So I would, just scroll, do your own research on that. I'm not going to do a guide on mice, but just make sure you don't have a crappy mouse. That's all.
Oh shit. Ramp. Okay, the last thing I wanted to talk to you about is what I find more interesting. It's more personal, less about technical details, and that is the grips, the grip that you use to hold the mouse. There's basically three main grips that people use. There's the palm grip, where you put your palm on the mouse, put all your fingers on the mouse so your whole hand is touching the whole mouse. There's a fingertip grip, which you just put, like the name implies, just the fingertips. Put your thumb on the side and put your fingers on the buttons. And then there's also the claw grip, which is basically a hybrid of the two. You put the base of your palm on the base of the mouse and then just put your fingertips on the mouse. The most popular grip of all would be the palm grip. There was actually a survey on Reddit where people are asked what their favorite grips are, and the number one grip was actually the palm grip. It had 48% of the vote with 314 votes, and the second most was the claw grip, and that had about 182 votes with 28%, and then the fingertip grip was last with 24%. So the fingertip is the least popular, followed by claw, and then the palm grip. And personally, I actually like to use the fingertip grip. And again, everybody's different. You should, if you haven't tried, try them all, see what works for you. Personally, the reason why I like the fingertip grip is because you have more agility and you have more minute control with each part. So, for example, you play with the fingertip grip, with the palm grip, then you can move your mouse around like so. Now, again, I have very low sensitivity, so in order to do a 180, it takes pretty much my whole mouse pad. I gotta swoop across the whole thing. And then if you want to do spraying, you have to pull down, and it's not as precise for me. I personally like to use fingertip grips so that if I want to pull down, I just basically use my fingers to pull it towards my hand. So you can see right here, I'll try to do a spray down. Or if I go ahead and just use the spray on here, it's burst training. And when you watch my hand, you can basically use your fingers very minute details, with your fingers, pull it in to the left, to the right, and it's not as difficult to control. But then again, how you use the mouse is really up to you. Everybody has different settings, whether it be your sensitivity, whether it's your mouse that you use, whether it's your grip that you use with it as well. So, give it a shot, try each one. There's no right or wrong way to use the mouse. Again, I'm not a pro, and this is not necessarily the best for you, but I just want to give you some facts and some things that have helped me improve. By the way, if you like the video, please make sure give it a like and follow me. Follow my Twitch, which is linked below. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for coming over.